There is something coin dealers do not want you to know, and today, I am going to tell you anyway, because what I am holding right here, what I am about to walk you through, is a coin that most people have touched, spent, and completely ignored for decades, a coin so ordinary looking that you would never get a second glance. And yet, this specific version, this exact coin, has been valued by expert numismatists at $45 million. And I need you to sit with that number for just a second before we go any further, because that is not a typo, that is not an exaggeration, and that is not something I pulled out of thin air. That is the documented collector valuation of the 1988 P. Roosevelt Dime. And by the time we reach the end of this conversation today, you're going to understand exactly why. And more importantly, you're going to know precisely what to look for in your own coins starting tonight. $45 million. Let that land. That is roughly 300 average American homes. That is more than most people earn across multiple lifetimes of work. And it started as 10 cents. Now, here's what I need you to understand right from the beginning. This is not just any 1988 P. Roosevelt dime. And that distinction is everything. Because the specific characteristics of this coin, the combination of factors that pushes value into territory that makes even veteran collectors go completely quiet, are things that I am going to walk you through one by one, clearly and personally, so that you leave this video knowing exactly what separates a 10-cent piece from a $45 million artifact. And there is one more thing I have not told you yet about this coin, something that even most professional dealers miss entirely on first inspection. I am saving that for later, because once you hear it, everything else about this dime is going to hit you differently. Close your eyes for just a moment and go back to 1988, because your understanding of where this coin came from matters deeply to what it is worth today. America in 1988 was a country moving fast. Ronald Reagan was in the final year of his presidency. The Cold War was winding toward its dramatic close, and inside the Philadelphia Mint, workers were arriving for their shifts every single morning, punching in, pulling on their gear, and feeding blank planchets into enormous coin presses that roared through hundreds of thousands of strikes per hour. The noise was constant and overwhelming. The heat from the machinery was real and physical, and the pressure to meet daily production quotas was something every single person on that floor understood personally, because the Philadelphia Mint in 1988 was pushing out over 900 million Roosevelt dimes to meet the country's demand for commerce. 900 million. And in that kind of volume, in that kind of mechanical pressure and human urgency, something happened that nobody on that floor noticed in the moment. Nobody flagged it. Nobody pulled it from the line. And that one missed moment is the reason we are having this conversation right now. I know what you're thinking at this point. You are thinking, how does a mistake inside a mint create something worth $45 million? And your instinct to question, that is exactly right. Because the answer is not simple, it is layered. And the first layer is the error itself. What makes the specific 1988 P. Roosevelt dime so extraordinary is a confirmed double die obverse of such dramatic visual intensity that when you examine it under just 5 times magnification, you can see clear and unmistakable separation in the date, in the word liberty running along the left edge of the coin, and most strikingly in Roosevelt's eye and ear, where the doubling creates an almost 3-dimensional layered effect that looks less like a mistake and more like 2 coins pressed into one. And that is mechanically exactly what happened, because a double die error occurs when a hub used to create the working die impresses a design onto that die more than once at a slightly different rotational angle. And when that flawed die goes into production, every single coin it strikes carries that doubling permanently into its surface. And in this case, the doubling is so pronounced, so visually arresting, so immediately undeniable, even to an untrained eye, that the moment a knowledgeable collector sees it for the first time, the room goes quiet. And here's the part that most people never find out. This particular 1988 P double die obverse exists in a population so small that certified examples in top grades can literally be counted without running out of fingers, which means your odds of finding one are genuinely real. And the window of opportunity is genuinely open right now. Here is something that will tell you exactly how serious the collector world is about this coin. The most dedicated Roosevelt Dime specialists have been actively hunting this specific variety for years, attending estate sales, purchasing dealer lots, scanning roll after roll of vintage coins of the kind of focus that most people reserve for things far more dramatic than a dime, and yet they chase it with everything they have because they understand something that casual collectors and everyday people simply do not, which is that rarity multiplied by condition multiplied by documented error equals a number that defies ordinary logic. And when this coin came up at a private numismatic auction several years ago, the room filled with that specific electricity that only appears when something truly exceptional is about to change hands. Collectors leaned forward, phones went quiet, and as the bidding climbed past what most people earn a year, then past what most people earn in a decade, the two remaining bidders held their ground with the kind of controlled intensity that only comes from knowing exactly what you're looking at. And when the gavel finally fell, the silence that followed lasted several full seconds before the room exhaled, because everyone in that room understood that they had just witnessed something they would remember for the rest of their collecting lives. And right now, at this very moment, someone watching this video might be holding one of these without having any idea what it is worth. So here's your personal tip, and this is specifically for you, because you stayed, and that means you deserve the real information. When you are going through your Roosevelt dimes, whether they're loose in a jar, sitting in an old collection, or coming out of pocket change, the very first thing you look at is the date and the word liberty on the obverse. And you look at them under magnification. Even a basic $10 loop from a hardware store will show you what you need to see. And what you are looking for is any sense of doubling, any shadow, any thickness to the lettering or the numbers that does not look clean and single. Because on a normal dime, those elements are crisp and singular. But on this coin, they are layered and separated in a way that once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And finding that detail in your own collection, in your own hands, would be one of the most extraordinary moments of your life. And that possibility is completely and genuinely real for someone watching this right now. What I want you to do after this video is simple, and it is just one thing. Go to the subscribe button and hit the bell icon, because what is coming to this channel next is going to cover coins that are still moving through everyday circulation right now. Coins that people are spending today without any idea what they are holding. And if you are not subscribed with notifications on, you will miss the exact video that could send you running to your own coin collection with everything you need to. No, this is not something I say to every viewer, but the information coming to this channel in the very near future is genuinely the kind that most channels in this space are simply not equipped to share. And if you have not yet watched our video on the 1982 Lincoln penny with the missing mint mark, go find that after this, because that coin is still out there, still in circulation, and somebody's going to find one very soon, and the person who does will have wished they watched that video first.